Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I just had breakfast and I was digging into this soft boiled egg and I thought, you know what? I'm gonna drop some mother flippin' training motivation onto you guys with this beautiful training weekend. Let's go! Okay, slowly. First of all, let's discuss the battle plan for this epic weekend. Today is a Friday. As you've seen, the weather has blessed us with some snow, so it's probably not gonna be such good outdoor conditions, although there's lightening up here at the moment. We've got a bit of sun coming through here already. Anyway, today's probably a gym day, not only because of the weather, but also because we've got some, we've got a little bit of a party going on this afternoon, this evening, because there's actually the 10-year anniversary of the climbing gym in Fürstenfeld, and we're gonna take part of that as well. But before we're gonna stuff our face with wonderful buffets and stuff like that, we're first of all gonna drop some calories, of course, onto some epic training. First of all, proper stretching. Second of all, proper system wall 45er attack. And then tomorrow, as the weather should get better tomorrow, we're gonna drop by on some outdoor bouldering actually. And then the day after tomorrow, the Sunday, we will hit the climbing gym again. It's gonna be my shift at the gym on Sunday, and we're gonna destroy ourselves completely, man. We're gonna attack the 45er again. After the bouldering, we're gonna hit the Beastmaker for some one-armers, I think, first of all, and then we're gonna destroy the body strength as well to be completely destroyed after this epic this epic weekend of training. Alright, and then Monday gonna be rest day. So that's the plan. Now you've heard it, now we gotta commit to it. There's no going back now, no regrets, balls to the walls. Let's get it done! Alright my friends, welcome back to good old Fürstenfeld, where the party is at. Chalk is refilled. Let's begin. Alright, voiceover time. I'd like to give you a bit of context to this mad whole body destruction you're about to witness while I'm mobilizing and stretching and warming up in the background. The thing is that about after the 8C plus success, I got a little sick winter flu style, you know, sneezing and runny nose and stuff like that. Just in time after the project was done, thankfully, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna exploit this opportunity and do something I haven't done for a longer time, take a longer break from climbing. So just for your info, the reason why I'm counting in the left up corner of the frame here is because I wanted to measure how long it takes me to get into the, full side split in the first round of my major splits. If you have seen a more recent stretching video of mine, then you already know that I always like to do 2 rounds of my major splits, my major stretches, which are, the side split and the front split. The reason being that on the second round of the stretches, you get into the stretching a lot deeper. You get into your hips a lot deeper because they are already opened up. And you can measure that actually by measuring how long it takes you to get into the position. And here I think it's about 40 seconds exactly. After which I'm able to sit down, and we're gonna see how long that takes afterwards in the second round essentially. Anyway, in the past I've talked about how longer breaks can sometimes be a stepping stone onto the next level by crushing the plateau that you've been on before when you come back. And here's how this essentially works. You rest for at least 2 weeks. I think you could go for up to a month actually, or even longer if you can endure it, as we know some of us are quite addicted to the sport. But at least 2 weeks, that seems to be the time frame after which the magic happens, so to say. By the way, how long did we take now? About 9 seconds, 10 seconds until we get into the full side split, so to say, which is a lot shorter, right? That indicates that the hips are already much more opened up. And as you can see, I can even reach my opposite toes here with my hands, which is always something that I'm struggling to do, which tells me that I'm getting into the full stretching actually. during that time, during the longer break, you do nothing climbing specific and nothing too hardcore in general, to give your body the chance to catch up with all the training and stuff that you did before. Maybe a small aerobic run here and there or something like that, but not more. And after that, when you start training again, actually for climbing, you will of course be super weak, especially if you were pretty close to your genetical limit already before that. Not so much I have the impression if you're still a beginner, which is interesting. Maybe you could actually use the extent to which you get weaker after such a rest to determine how maxed out you already are. You'd have to standardize it and so on. However, I'm getting off track here. In any case, you will get a lot weaker during that longer rest, and when you come back you will feel that, which is why you have to take it slowly in the beginning. Sometimes it even seems like old injuries which were closed up in the recent past are all of a sudden back, but no worries, usually they disappear again once you're back in the flow. And then usually something fascinating happens. The body starts to remember itself about its past fitness and literally jumps back into that state super quickly over the course of 2 weeks or something. It's probably different from person to person and also dependent on the training you do and so on. However, the essence of the story is that if you ride this comeback wave smartly, that's how I call it now, you might shoot up further than you have ever been before. And this training weekend you're about to witness here is basically my first level training again, coming back from this longer rest I did recently. In my case, I rested for 2.5 weeks or something, and I'm about 1 week back into training here. Usually also body weight goes up a bit during that longer rest because you're simply not burning as many calories as before, but usually eating in the same pattern as before, right? As I explained in the conditioning episode of the How I Climbed My First 8C Plus series, I climbed the thing at about 63 kilograms, and here I'm back at around 66 kilograms, so you can expect that to balance out again as well, so to say. So let's have a look at how the training actually went. This is the first real boulder that I tried after, warming up my fingers. I warmed up the fingers super simply as always, just by hanging a couple of holes on this beautiful 45-degree Andromeda system wall. Then I did some campusing as well, which, as you may already know, is something that I like to do for warming up, interestingly, because it's quite effective on the upper body, and gets your explosiveness going and stuff like that. So here we already have the crux move of this boulder. I think the boulder checks in at around 7C or something. I'm a little bit careful with grading still during this weekend because, as I said, I might not be at full 100% performance yet after the longer rest, and the boulder felt quite hard, so I think 7C/plus maybe Andromeda grading should work out. And the interesting thing about this move is that it's really important to have your right foot on the correct wooden screw-on, so to say. You're allowed to step all wooden screw-ons on this problem, and as you can see, just by having it on the right upper screw-on, I'm able to push for much longer, than when I'm stepping below. And this allows me to reach this next pink small, screw-on on there, which is actually pretty hard to hit, but if you hit it properly, you can hold it quite easily. And then we've got this beautiful move right up, and then this nice body strengthy Gaston move into this pink pinch up there. Just an epic hold. I recently screwed a couple of new holds onto the 45er. I don't know if you noticed it. Matching the next pinch up there on this volume with this beautiful flag, and then big move into the top jug again. So the upper section of the boulder is very, very climbable, I would say. The main difficulty is sticking the second and the third move, which really are the crux moves. The pink line, 7C I call it, because almost all the holds are pink. First move into the shallow round edge with left. Big move into the 2-finger pocket, which is just such an epic move. When I found this one, I was so happy because it forces you to do this really beautiful drop knee. Look at this, bam, and it's just so max reach. It just works out perfectly for me. And by that, it's really hard to hit the 2-finger pocket perfectly. And this should turn out to be actually the major problem with this boulder. Hitting the 2-finger pocket so well that you can do the next move afterwards as well. And as you can see, this is basically where the grind with this boulder starts. I just so often tried it from the bottom, but I never hit the 2-finger pocket perfectly, you know. It's because it's such a slightly dynamic move as well. You can't really lock this edge down there off, so unless you're Hercules essentially, you can't lock it off in such a way that you can sort your fingers in statically, you know, into the 2-finger pocket. Here I checked, I found out that I essentially can hang the 2-finger pocket one-handed, which is kind of impressive. Was kind of surprising for me to see. And on the next attempt, I just hit it wonderfully and was able to stick the next dyno. And from there, as I said again, the next moves, although beautiful, are not that hard anymore. Beautiful flag there, matching, and then slapping to the left into the top jog. So yeah, this was the main objective of this first session, this Friday session. Went great. I didn't spend too much energy. Let's see what I have to say about that.
Yeah, boy. Alright, that was a good session, man. That was a good session. As you can hear in the background, the party is already starting. We're gonna do a little bit of a show, you know, with all the different Olympic disciplines and stuff with climbing. So that should be interesting. Maybe I get a little bit of footage of that as well. But anyway, session is over for today. Preserving some energy for tomorrow. Went good. Bouldern ist Klettern in Absprunghöhe. Ja, also da braucht man kein Seil, man kann runterspringen und drunter ist eine dicke Matten und es passiert nichts. Jawohl!
Das Essen ist nicht schlecht, das Popcorn.
Also, das riecht schon, ja. Aber bringen sie es so gut.
Ja, es gibt Gulasch.
Es gibt Gulasch, Kaiserschmarrn.
Was?
Selina, was los?
Natürlich, auf der rein und rechts gleich. If that was not a great show, then I don't know what is, my friends. So we have here a little bit of a post-workout meal. We've got good old goulash. Yeah, man, just such a great show, man. The kids were strong, and the session before was great. Can't wait for tomorrow. Psyched! Let's get it done, man. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We've got ambitious plans today. The weapons are sharpened and the weight is taken. We're checking in at 65.8 kilograms today, which is quite heavy. We had a little bit of goulash yesterday, I have to admit it, but we're still fasted. Okay, so we did not have any breakfast, also partly due to the high weight on the scale today. There is simply no breakfast needed, in my opinion. So we're heading out into the wild Grazer Bergland to conduct a little bit of a bouldering session today. Believe it or not, that's actually going to be the main training part of this weekend, because as I've said previously, nothing comes close to outdoor bouldering. There's also a really nice project that I'm trying to do there. It's gonna be interesting as well. Maybe I'm gonna talk about that a little bit once we're there. And then we've got two other program points we have to, number one, we have to go for some food shopping, because as I already said, tomorrow is gonna be on Sunday. Today is Saturday. Tomorrow on Sunday we will have the shift in the climbing gym in Fürstenfeld, and that means I want to try to make a little bit of a soup, you know, a little bit of a community soup, so to say, and then as an instant post-workout meal, you know, before they go out, before I send them out back into the cold again, so to say. For this, of course, we've got to have some mats, some materials. So we're gonna hit up some supermarkets after the outdoor bouldering session today, and then we also gonna try to find a shop in Graz, which I looked up online already, where we are going to pick up an old passion of mine in the quite literal sense, but I'm not gonna talk about that too much now. We're gonna find out anyway later.
Could be that we're not alone today. Temperature climbs and climbs above the 0 point. Snow is melting. This beautiful beach forest in here. We gotta get through this quickly, because otherwise we're gonna be wet when we reach the top. Today we're gonna just see how weather independent this bouldering cave is. It's just so amazing. There we are, and the voiceover ghost is back as well. As you can see, it's interesting how different the conditions are. Shade compared to sun. In the shade we've got 6 degrees Celsius or something. In the sun we've got almost 20. And yeah, it's of course just so cool to climb in such conditions, because you can climb in the shade essentially, and then you do a couple of steps back to warm up in the sun. And it's just beautiful, you know. Get a little bit of vitamin D in and stuff like that. This is the start of the boulder that I wanted to try during this session. It's a traverse without a certain hold, without one certain good pocket. It's a bit of an elimination, so to say. Checks in at around, I would say, 8A plus. And yeah, just beautiful moves, very body strength demanding, very precision demanding as well. You know, a couple of dynamic slaps there around the second crux, so to say. And from the point where I'm here, it's essentially endurance. You can shake your hands from time to time there, not so well, not so good as if you would have used the good pocket as well, so to say, that we eliminated. But yeah, that's the challenge about this elimination variant, that you don't get the good shakeouts that you would usually get. Yeah, here I'm at the last crux before the top, so to say, which you unfortunately can't see, because I wasn't expecting, honestly, to send it that quickly. Just wanted to film one go off the start. Yeah, but it went down, which was pretty cool. And here is another boulder that I tried after that. I think it's around 8A or something. It's called Tutogas, and features some really amazing moves on this undercling that I'm just sorting in with the left hand here. Very body strength demanding as well, then really high stepping and big move out to the edge, where we've got some interesting sloper holds, so to say, which allow you to really compress this whole piece of rock in between your two hands, and you have to get your feet out, do something heel hook style or toe hook style. I went for the heel hook here, and then you slap your way on these edge slopers there to the top hold. Figured I was a little low on carbs already, you know, after the first few attempts, which is why I smashed in an apple there, and then shooted out a couple of attempts more on this project, but I failed to stick the last crux, so to say, because I always lost this heel hook there. And what I found out later, actually, on the next session, is that I did a little bit of a beta mistake there. Actually, I set the heel hook in the wrong way, so to say. And additionally, you actually can do something with your left foot, with your left leg. You can actually flag it more properly than I'm doing it here. And then the hook sticks, actually, and you're able to do the last couple of moves as well. But yeah, at this point in time, I still didn't know that. It was such a cool session, man, because the crew was motivated, you know, and yeah. Oh, what an epic session, man. Kept it short and spicy. 3 hours of bouldering. The main course went down super quickly. This 8A plus traverse without the good pocket. Bit of an elimination variant. Psyched crew at the crag. They're trying their project as well, you know, it's good energy there. Checked out a couple of other stuff as well, which should go down next time. Just epic. And now let's get down, get some groceries, baby, please, and some more epic stuff, and then already starting to rest for tomorrow. Should be epic. Ooh, we've got a lot of light here with this winter, crystal clear winter sun, man. Anyway, see you there. Welcome back to the cozy apartment, my friends. It's kind of cold outside, man. I'm pretty happy to be home. The beautiful beef soup is cooking on the stove already, with which we're gonna warm up. It's gonna be awesome. And here we've got some potatoes cooking up carbs for tomorrow. You know, a little bit of carb loading for tomorrow, because tomorrow gonna be an epic workout. I'm gonna relax now and enjoy my food, and then I'm gonna start editing this monster video. Damn! I'm pretty psyched for tomorrow, I have to say. I hope I recover properly. I'll see you tomorrow, my friends. Good Sunday morning, my friends. Welcome back to the epic training weekend. It's 9:30 in the morning and we're on our way to climbing gym. The shift starts at 10 and we don't want to be late, right? So we're in the caddy bro already and on our way. Yesterday's session really was a blast. It was just so epic to climb with this crew. Lots of problems sent as well, and got some good whole body destruction, I have to feel. I could literally feel it today when I was waking up in bed, you know, feeling all the muscles. Not too much, which is good, because again, we want to get something done today as well. But you know, good solid destruction. So I could do a rest day today and still make some gains probably. But because we committed to the 3-day training weekend, we're gonna bang out a session today. Proper stretching, 45 a session, hitting the Beastmaker 2000 edges as well, and then the body strength as well. So that's the plan for the day. And then we want to provide some good food for our climbers at the gym. That's gonna be interesting as well. I got the mats in the back of the car, so that should work out. The only worry that I'm gonna have, which might cross my plans, is the skin. I can still feel the skin to a significant degree from yesterday. You know, rock climbing on real rock is, as usual, a lot more demanding on the skin, and it was yesterday too. I still have my little open cut. You can't see it now because I can't focus while I'm driving, but I still have a little bit of an open cut split on my pointer, on my right pointer. So hopefully that's not gonna get in the way too much of today's session. Anyway, I'm super psyched. Let's finish this thing up, man. Whew. Still pretty fresh, -1 degree Celsius, cloudy. Weather management couldn't have been more perfect, I think. Yesterday was the only sunny day of the 3, and we used that one to get the bouldering session in, get a bit of sun, you know. And today it's cloudy and cold. The day before yesterday it was cloudy and cold as well. Let's open the gym. Alright, so the first people are cruising in. I decided to stay down at the entrance first to let them in, you know, and register them and stuff. But I decided to use the time essentially and start cooking my soup. So the secret to any good soup: 3 ingredients, okay? We got the veg, which is gonna be onions and carrots and, you know, celery and all that good stuff. We got 1 good meat source, which is gonna be a little bit of pork here and a bit of beef, usually fatty cuts, and also tough cuts, you know, cuts which have to be cooked long but have a lot of taste, have to be cooked long until they get soft. And then we've got 1 carb source. The carb source for today is gonna be potatoes, and that's basically it. Then we're gonna cut it all up and throw it into the pot, sweat it a little bit in good old butter. And then we're gonna add some water, essentially, add all the other ingredients, salt and pepper, and there we go. It's gonna be a delicious winter, warming, hearty winter soup, alright? So let's see how that goes.
Sie passen. Alter, die weißen sind schon geil aus.
Schon, gell?
Aber die werden nicht dreckig. Blut, für lauter Blut. Ich hab so viel Angst, dass ich...
Oh, epic times are ahead. Epic times are ahead. Diese Dinger.
Ich kann Beizeit. Das ist so anstrengend, oder?
This fighting equipment has my total approval. Alright, the friendly voiceover ghost is back. Welcome back to the third session, the Sunday session of this monster weekend. To pick up from where I left the topic from Friday with the longer rest and stuff like that. You know, it would be cool, of course, if that strategy works out with this recent longer rest that I did as well, and I shoot a bit up through my plateau that I was on before that, so to say, and maybe generate enough fitness to, you know, get the fitness necessary to try this 9A again. And yeah, that's what we're gonna find out essentially in the near future, whether it goes really good on the bouldering. What the 9A I tried is really bouldery as well, and yeah, requires some mad finger strength and some mad finger strength to body weight ratio essentially as usual. And I already have a replica boulder actually for that thing on the 45 degrees system wall here on the Andromeda wall as well. Not the one that I'm showing you now, but yeah, it's kind of cool, and it's super hard. I mean, the replica boulder already is super hard, so it's gonna be a good testing object to see how I do, you know, with my fitness. And we're gonna see if we can manage to reach the necessary fitness after this longer rest now. So that's why I'm picking up the topic with this longer rest thing, you know. And yeah, this weekend is, so to say, my comeback. Sasha?
Der Rote.
Yeah. Into normal training. Simple as that. So here we have the start of this boulder, which is just an amazing, I would say around 8A or something Andromeda grading. Super hard moves right from the beginning. Already the first one, starting at two very shallow starting holds, one bad edge and one pinch, slapping onto the next pinch, and then from this super small pinch with the right hand you've got to do the crux move, which is a big move onto this black-white hold there, this rounded black-white hold. Then another easier move onto a round edge as well, and then slapping your foot up onto this high screw on there to be able to do another super hard move, big move onto a white sloper. Yeah, we're gonna see that again in a second. Manuel, of course, was very supporting as usual. This is actually true. Once you're sorting in this bad pinch with the right hand, you actually have, I don't know, you have 5 seconds or something until it gets so greasy that you're slipping off essentially. And here in this shot I was sticking this crux move for the first time ever. The thing is that here's the crux move one more time. From this shallow pinch onto this super open edge, which you have to hit just so perfectly. Really cool move. And I created this problem actually last year, so this exists for quite some time on the Andromeda wall already, and I haven't touched it since then because back then it was just much too hard for me and I couldn't even do the crux move that you just saw before. Now I stuck it for the first time, which tells me that at least compared to the last year some gains have occurred, as it seems, finger strength wise, which is of course awesome. And that although I should not even be back into 100% performance, you know, because of the longer rest recently. This is the upper section of the boulder. Just a big move onto this white sloper there, and then another big move onto the top hold, which you have to match then. So not such a long session this time, bouldering wise, because I could really feel the skin from the day before as well, you know, from the bouldering session, from the outdoor bouldering session, which is of course much more skin demanding than indoor bouldering. So what we did then was the planned Beastmaker one armors on the side edges of the Beastmaker 2000 there. The support weight that I'm using here is, I think, what is it, 1.25 times 3, that's 3.75 kilograms. But it's actually much more than that, because as you can see, the system I'm using is not free of friction. I'm just simply smashing the rope around this wooden bar there, and that of course creates a lot of friction, which is very helpful as well. So I think actually we've got 10 kilograms of support weight there on these one armors. But yeah, they went quite well. Again, I haven't done these one armors for quite a long time, you know, so yeah, I was quite satisfied with that. And then we of course had to try out the the funny fighting gear that I bought. And I tell you, man, I'm not I think there is not any other sport that is such good cardio than this kind of sparring thing, you know, this kickbox sparring thing. Was just so fun to do this again after such a long time. I did this when I was around 15 or something, 15 years old, right before I got into climbing actually. And yeah, I remember that I was sweating my bag off while doing that stuff, you know, it's just such good cardio. Ooh, and here we have the final product. I'm gonna stir it a little bit for you so that you can see all the goodness. You see that? There's some meat there, got some veg, some potatoes, and this is delicious stuff, man. And finally, on to the last program point for this Sunday, the core session. I was pretty wrecked already, let's put it that way. I was super hungry as well, so I really just wanted to get it done. I was quite satisfied though with how it went, how it worked out, you know. The front levers were not too bad. Again, I didn't do this stuff for quite some time, and here I was especially happy with these, with the planche attempts, because I am actually quite heavy with 66 kilograms roughly, which is, you know, it's my normal weight, but it's far from performance weight. And this is actually very, very, you know, having performance weight and having light legs is very, very useful for these body strength moves as well. And you know, the fact that it went quite well despite that I'm so heavy was really cool to see that, you know. It was kind of motivating. So I suppose if I get in performance shape, the planche could work out. Alright, let's see what I have to say. My friends, the session is done. Man, I'm pretty destroyed. I think the weekend worked pretty well, and now I've earned myself some soup in case I don't spill it all over. But oh man, this soup is great. It's just perfect, man. Very savory, very warming, you know, heartwarming. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this little training motivation video. I hope I could drop some training motivation. Man, I'm already salivating like crazy here, okay? So I can't really talk too much now. Yeah, I'll see you soon in the next one. I hope you're crushing as well. Keep it up. Top conditions outdoors, man. Get some stuff done. And I'll see you soon in the next one.